Welcome back to Cranberries Live. To show you how to make a Confit duck Pithivier with Wensleydale and cranberry cheese and a pickled veg salad. I'm going to push you a bit this week, so let's make sure we're ready. So first we're going to make a start on our pickle. So to do this, we're going to add water on a medium heat. You can find all these recipes on our website, so if I'm going too fast or if you've missed anything, check it out and you can find everything you need to make this. So to that we're going to add our salt and our sugar. I've made a lot of pickles before, so I can do it by eye, but it's usually about 1 part salt to 3 parts sugar. So we're going to make a start on our veg. Just remember, you can comment with any questions that you have and let us know where you're watching from. We love to hear it. So we're taking the top and the tail off our carrot, and with a sharp knife we're going to just shave strips off this carrot. At home you can use a veg peeler if you find this easier, but I've used a nice sharp knife. Just remember, with sharp knives, keep your fingers tucked in so you don't stand the risk of cutting yourself. We had a bit of rain up here in the halls today, so the sunshine is over, but all the fields were very grateful for it. So once we have our strips of carrot, they go into the pickling mix. Next we're going to add our celery, and we're going to cut this on the angle to keep things interesting and add some real drama and flair to our food when it's finished. Now I've used carrots, celery and asparagus, but you can use any veg that you can get your hands on. This would work equally well with beetroot. And when we're cutting the asparagus, we're just going to use the spears. So we want to be about 1 inch down from the tops. If you want to pickle more veg, you can do this, and you can keep it to eat at a later date. So this is in, and we're going to bring it to the boil. Just remember that you can find all these recipes next to the methods and a full range of all our cheese products and some fantastic stuff from Yorkshire and further afield on our website. So please check it out. So next we're going to make a start on our Pithivier. And a Pithivier is an enclosed pie from a town in the south of France called Pithivier. They're very dainty and they look very pretty on the plate. They're quite technical, but I think you can do it, so I'm going to show you how. So making puff pastry can be a bit fiddly, so we've used some pre-prepared stuff. It's going to taste just as good and do the same job. So we want to add a bit of flour to our board to stop it from sticking. And we're going to use a pastry cutter to cut 2 even circles. These are going to form the basis of our Pithivier. So they're done, and we're going to set these aside. Now our pickled veg has come up to the boil. So we want to remove it from our heat and set aside. Now we're being very careful with our boiling water, not to burn ourselves. Now, as the veg pickles, it's going to take on the beautiful tangy sweetness of the vinegar, salt and sugar. And just the same as last week, we're looking for counterpoint in juxtaposition with our cooking. So the rich duck and the sweet cranberries are going to be best friends, and it's going to be complemented nicely by the pickled veg salad. Now, like most good ideas, the idea for our Wensleydale and cranberry cheese came about in the pub, where an employee was talking to a friend of his who was a purveyor of the best dried fruit products, and together they came up with Yorkshire Wensleydale and Cranberry cheese, which is one of our biggest sellers. So we're keeping ourselves nice and neat and tidy when we cook. And we're going to make a start on our confit duck. Just remember that you can ask me any questions you want and I'll do my best to answer them. Just had a comment here from Gemma Crampton, who's watching from Leeds. Hi Gemma, we hope that you're going to get on well with our dish this week. So, confit is a classical French technique, and there's no real translation for confit, but it means something like slow cook in fat. So what we're going to be doing here is gently cooking our duck in some vegetable oil. Now the key here is the heat needs to be low. This is going to mean that the duck is going to cook nicely and not be tough. This is going to take about 3 or 4 hours at home. It's quite a labour intensive process, but it's going to be worth it, I promise you. So we're going to go in with our duck leg. And to our oil we're going to add some thyme. And as it starts to cook, the smell from this thyme is going to be absolutely incredible. And remember, we don't want this to boil. And when we're working with hot oil, it can be quite dangerous. So make sure that any pets or small children aren't running around your feet. And always make sure that you have a bottle of cold oil with you. So if it starts to get too hot or starts to bubble, a little squidge of cold oil is going to calm everything down nicely. So back to our Pithivier. Once our duck is confit nicely, it's going to look something like this. So we have a nice colour, and you know it's ready when it starts to flake off the bone. I've used duck here, but this would work equally well with chicken or any other meat you can get your hands on. The process is exactly the same, and the key points are a slow application of heat in oil. So, once the duck is cooked, you can see how it just flakes off the bone beautifully. For anyone watching who is vegetarian or vegan, you could use some wilted spinach. This would work equally as well. Now, it's only our factory in Hawes that can call its product Yorkshire Wensleydale cheese. This is a European protected status, much like Champagne from the Champagne region of France, or Parma ham from Parma across in Italy. We're very proud of this, and this reflects the culture and heritage we have making cheese and the time-honoured methods that we make to use it. So, the meat is picked off our duck, and now we're going to crumble in our Yorkshire Wensleydale and Cranberry cheese. This is going to crumble in the exact same way as the rest of our cheese products. And again, duck and fruit are best friends. They're going to complement each other nicely. The richness of the duck and the sweetness of the cranberries are going to go together very well. We're trying to encourage you to use our cheese products in different ways. And most people would associate our Yorkshire Wensleydale and Cranberry with fruitcake at Christmas. And this is a classic combination, but it also works well with other meat and sweet cooking. Once we've crumbled it in, we're going to mix it thoroughly with our hands. We don't want to season this because that would overpower the rich duck and the sweet fruit. Now the secret to a good Pithivier is we need to form our filling into an even and round ball. This is going to be the backbone of our Pithivier, so the neater and tidier we are with this ball, the more regular the shape is going to be. So once we've formed it into a ball, we place it in the centre of our puff pastry. We're going to wet our finger slightly and we're going to run it round the bottom of the puff pastry disc. This is going to allow the top to stick to it. Just remember, if we're going too fast, you can find all these recipes next to a fantastic range of produce from Yorkshire's Natural Larder on our website. And remember, ask me your questions and I'll do my best to answer them. So, now we're going to place the top bit of pastry on. We want to gently start to stretch this slightly with our fingers. And like all of our cooking, the more gentle we can be and the more respect we can treat our produce with, the better. So we're going to gently place this over, and with our curved little finger, we're going to follow the shape of our filling all the way around, turning it as we go. Now, these Pithiviers are going to be far superior to your regular pie because the pastry seals in all the juice and all the goodness, meaning it's going to be moist and nice to eat. We've had a bit of rain in Hawes, so everything is lush and green and the fields are looking lovely. And all the cows that graze there that supply our milk are going to be very happy about that as well. I was coming to work just yesterday and I was stuck behind a big herd of cows being moved on the road. I couldn't help but noticing their udders were bursting full of milk. It's going to be fantastic for all the cheese that we make. So, with our cutter, we want to place it over the Pithivier and with firm pressure push down. We then want to remove the excess pastry. And again, this dish is very labour intensive. We're looking to elevate your home cooking and to use our cheese products in ways that you wouldn't usually think of. And it is a very labour intensive process, but I promise you when you see the results, it's going to be worth it. So, now it's crimped, we want to take our knife, being very careful not to cut our fingers, and we want to crimp it all the way around, turning as we go. The more gentle we can be with this, the better. We're very proud of our cheese products here at the Creamery, and every single batch of cheese that leaves us is graded the old-fashioned way with a cheese iron, like you can see behind me. And I asked the production manager what he was looking for when he graded it. And he told me that he was looking for a clean cheese iron, a fresh taste, and this ensures all the products we make reach you in the best of quality. And remember, you can buy all the cheese products that you need here, next to a fantastic range of other produce on our online deli and shop, so please check out our website. If you have bought from us already, thank you very much, and we hope that you enjoyed your cheese products. So back to our Pithivier. This bit is quite fiddly, so we want steady hands, not too much coffee before. And we want a paring knife, and we want to place this in the centre of the Pithivier and carve out in concentric circles to get this lovely spiral pattern on top, which is indicative of the Pithivier. This is a dish that will be great for a starter and something you can really wow your friends with. And I think good cooking can become greater than the sum of its parts, so all this attention now is going to be fantastic later on. So we've crimped the top, and now we're going to egg wash it to get that beautiful golden colour. So take our Pithivier gently into our hand, and we want to apply our egg wash from top to bottom with a light touch. This is going to ensure that we haven't got too much glaze on, and it cooks nicely and gets that beautiful golden colour that we're looking for. So as you can see here, it's glazed very nicely, it looks dainty and pretty, and it's going to amaze your friends when you have them round when the lockdown's finished. So we're going to place it onto a tray in the oven at 180 degrees. It should take about 10 to 15 minutes, but the key points are a golden brown colour and a shiny egg glaze. For the purpose of this demonstration, I have cooked a Pithivier earlier on, so now we're going to assemble the dish. We're keeping ourselves nice and neat and tidy when we cook to avoid a big clean-up job at the end. Now, the pickle takes a few hours to work with our veg, so you want to make it 2 or 3 hours beforehand and really give that pickle a chance to work. So, to assemble the dish, we're going to place our Pithivier slightly to one side. We're going to take our pickled carrot and we're going to wrap it around our finger to form nice little circles. This is going to look elegant and dainty and really add that wow factor to your cooking. We've just had a question here asking me how long you have to confit the duck for. It usually takes about 3 or 4 hours, and just remember that the point of this technique is it cooks slowly and gently, so the lower the heat, the longer you can leave it for, and the longer it cooks for, the more tender it will be. The key things to look out for are when the meat starts to fall away from the bone and the skin starts to gently caramelise. So back to the dish. I've used carrots, celery and asparagus because here in North Yorkshire we have some of the best asparagus in the country. This stuff is from Spillman's farm just outside York. It's a very short, brief season for asparagus, so we like to make the best of it. And we're going to place it with a light touch on top of the carrot. And we're going to interlay the asparagus so it forms fantastic cross shapes. This is going to add the wow factor. This salad wants to follow the curve of your plate. Next we're going to add our celery. Again, we place this with the utmost care. Finally, I'm going to garnish with some pea shoot tendrils. They're a very sweet garnish, and the counterpoint to your sharp veg is going to be something special. And the finishing touch, as always, a crumble of our Yorkshire Wensleydale cheese. Again, this is something that most people would associate with feta, but we feel that Yorkshire Wensleydale works a lot better. I'm going to bring this up to the camera to show you because I think it looks incredible. So here we have it. A confit duck, Yorkshire Wensleydale and cranberry Pithivier, a pickled veg salad with pea shoots and Yorkshire Wensleydale cheese. Thanks for watching Crumble It. Join us again next week.